We always hear people talking about landing pages. What exactly are they talking about? What is a landing page? And what's the difference between a landing page and a normal website? Does your business actually need a landing page? Today in Neptune Design, we're going to be covering everything to do with landing pages. And I'm going to be showing you the benefits of having a landing page, why a landing page helps you grow your business faster, and I'm also going to be giving you 5 killer tips on how to design an awesome landing page for your business. So let's get into it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so what exactly is a landing page? Well, the first thing that I want you to know is that a landing page is not some amazing, mysterious thing. A landing page is just basically a website page. It's a normal website page. And the cool thing about a landing page, or what makes it different to any other website page, is a landing page is a more focused page. A website is extremely versatile, whereas a landing page only has one function and one function only, and that is to either get the client's email address or to get the client's contact details or to get the minimum information necessary for us to start the sales process with a client. So that's basically all that a landing page is. It's just a website page, but it's tweaked to be focused towards getting the customer's contact details so we can start the sales process. Okay, so I'm on our homepage, the Neptune Design homepage, and this is the full website. And websites are cool. There's nothing wrong with a website, but the only problem with the website is when you pay for a customer to come to your website, when you have paid advertising, there are so many places where the client could get lost or sidetracked, or they could be looking at your link to your Facebook page and now all of a sudden they're in your Facebook page, and then they get a message from their friends on Facebook and they end up not leaving their email address. So a website is great, but a website is not focused, and there are too many places for a client to get distracted before you get their email address. And this becomes a problem as people start having shorter and shorter attention spans because there's so much information around them. Now, let me show an example of a great landing page. Okay, so if I go to Shopify and if I click on their Shopify landing page, just gonna say X there. This is one of the most excellent examples of a landing page. Why? Because there is nothing to do here except put in your email address. As you can see, there's no menu on top, there's no links, there's no way that I'm gonna get distracted. All I have to do here is put in my email address, and it's got a great layout as well. So this is basically a landing page. There's not much to do here other than read about the company, what they offer, and add my email address so I can start doing business or start communicating with them. This is a perfect example of a landing page. And if you compare this to a normal website, there are lots of places for your customer to get lost, and then you're not going to grab their email address, and then you will never be able to help that client. That's why a landing page is so important. Okay, so now that you've seen the benefits and you've seen an example, how exactly do we go about making a landing page? For the purposes of this video, I am not going to get into anything deep. I'm just going to give you a simple way to do it, a way that anyone can basically do it. I'm going to assume that you do have a WordPress website. If not, you should get a WordPress website. It's going to be the easiest way for you to get into creating a landing page. Okay, so I've got a WordPress website and I basically use Elementor to build my landing pages. Okay, so what Elementor is it's basically a website page builder, but it's a visual page builder, and you don't have to know coding, and you don't have to get a designer, and you don't have to get into all of that stuff. All you need to do is basically install the plugin on your website, and to do that you just go to plugins, you say add new in your WordPress dashboard, of course, and then you are just going to search for Elementor. Okay, so this is the Elementor page builder. You'll click install, and then you'll click activate, and you'll have access to the Elementor page builder. Okay, now they do have a basic page builder, and they do have the advanced page builder or the pro. I suggest that you do get the pro version because there's a lot more cool features and you get access to a lot of cool landing pages. So I'll show you what I'm on about, and I'll show you how easy it is to build a landing page. Okay, so I just went to add new page, and now I'm going to click on edit with Elementor. Once I get into the Elementor main menu, I'm then going to have the option with what type of page I would like. I'll go to settings and I'll say I want a canvas layout. So a canvas layout means you don't have any header and you don't have any footer, which is cool. We'll need that for a landing page. Then we have this folder icon here. I'm going to click template, and as you can see, there's a whole lot of pages or website pages that have already been designed. So all we need to do is type in landing page, search, and it gives us, if you can see, it says landing page, landing page, landing page, landing page. It gives us a whole lot of landing pages already. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pick one. And as you can see, it's got some cool colors and everything already. And I'm going to say insert. And it's basically going to insert the landing page into my existing website. And that's how quickly you can get a landing page set up. And obviously here, you will just change a few details and get your email address set up. Now that's why I told you to get the pro feature, because if you get the pro feature, there's a lot of ways that you can actually manipulate your contact forms and stuff like that. So what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below, and just to give you guys an idea, I just literally built a landing page in, what was that, 10 seconds. Took me 10 seconds just to get all of this done. Now all I have to do is just edit this content, which I can do visually. I don't need a developer or coder. I can just simply go in and edit it and change whatever I need. So that's basically how you would build a landing page. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description below, but that's how you do it. Okay, so now that you know how to build your landing page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to make an awesome landing page. Let's get it done. Okay, Okay, so tip number 1, keep it simple. Put as little information as the client needs to know about you as possible. We do not want a landing page where a client has to scroll and scroll and scroll to eventually get to the point. We want something short, we want something simple, and we want something that the customer can instantly get. Tell them about your service, tell them about why you should do business with you, tell them about your credibility, but do not take up too much of the client's time. Remember, people are information rich and they are time poor. That means that people have a lot of things to do and they are not going to give your landing page 30 minutes or 20 minutes of their attention. So keep it short. Let's talk about part 2, or the second tip. You are not focused on your landing page on trying to sell your client something. You are trying to attract your client by giving the client a free offer, free ebook, free trial to your product, free whatever, so that you can get the client's email address and start the process of building trust with the client, so eventually you can sell something. So do not go for the sale immediately. Try and go for the email address. And also remember that if you need as little information as possible, then only request the minimum information that you need. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll tell you a funny story. There's this blog article that I read called The $1 Million Button. And what happened was there was this conversion tracking consultancy and they had 2 pages for this major retailer. The first page asked the clients to put in their name, their surname, and their email address. The second page only asked the clients for their email address. And the first page underperformed. The second page increased the sales of that famous retailer by $1 million. And that is the importance of keeping it simple. Remember, not too complicated. We just want the client's email address and we're attracting it with an offer. Okay, tip number 3, include a hero image. Include an image of somebody enjoying the product, or include an image of the final outcome of the product. So what do I mean by that? If you're selling dental implants, put somebody with a great smile put a photo of somebody with a great smile on the page. If you're selling beautiful furniture, put a photo of a beautiful living room there so that the client can visualize the benefits of doing business with you and see the final outcome that they want. Don't spend all of this time just putting words and words and words and words about how you're amazing and not complement that with an amazing image of the final product or the final outcome that the client wants. Because remember guys, it's about the pain points of the clients. That's why they're there. They're there to solve their problem. They are not there to hear about how great or how amazing your company is. They want to know how you can help them solve their problem. That's why they're there, and that's why they click the link in the first place. Okay, so tip number 4, credibility. It is vital for you to be credible because guys, let's face it, if a client doesn't trust your landing page, if he doesn't feel convinced that you actually do or are able to do what it is that you say you do, they're just not going to give you their email address. So try and build credibility using client testimonies, maybe a video of one of your clients bragging about you, or even the big well-known companies that you work with. Try and build credibility so that the client trusts you enough to give up their email address, which is the point of the page anyway. And remember guys, if your page comes across as scammy or if it looks shady, the client is not going to bother with giving up their email addresses. And that's also why it's important to have a well-designed landing page as well. So try and build credibility so that the client says, okay, this looks like a credible company and I'm happy to give up my email address to them. That's tip number 4. Okay, last tip, tip number 5. Always test your landing pages out. Now, I showed you a cool builder that allows you to have lots of different landing pages. So don't just stick with one landing page. Try and create 3 or 4 or 5 different types of landing page and then test what happens when we use this hero image. What happens if we use a different hero image? What happens if we use a smiling man instead of a smiling woman? What happens if we put a video testimony? What happens if we don't put a video testimony? Always test out your landing pages and always try and optimize your landing page, because you might have something good that works, but with just a few changes, you could dramatically increase your email collection rate or your conversion rate. So always test and keep on testing throughout the life cycle of your project or your business to optimize. Okay, so those were my tips, and this is the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, please like or subscribe, and I left descriptions in the link below. If you need any of the software that I used in this video, be sure to check it out. And thank you so much for watching, guys. We're gonna have a few more series on optimizing your marketing, so please subscribe, and I hope to see you again.